So, it has been another Nutter Butter week. I was going to be creating an episode on Nerdfighteria, working for SciShow, and what I actually do for my job, but we're just going to have to push that back until next week. So Friday night, I got extremely wine drunk. Many egos were lost, to put it in polite terms. And my husband and I had really great conversations. Trump's tweets were resonating in my brain about nuclear war, and we had just watched Hacksaw Ridge like last weekend, so all these horrible images were bouncing around my head. I was literally crying for like hours and hours, wondering how could someone talk so lightly about nuclear war? So lightly talk about the mass and instantaneous murder of millions of people like it's nothing. And I kept thinking, I'm this one person with this multitude of feelings and thoughts, one person with a universe of being, and one other person can just flippantly joke about stealing away those lives. It's insane. People are going to die because of where they were born into a society ruled by an inconsistent baby who plays with people's lives. And who am I talking about? Sounds like both. Probably both leaders. So I'm crying about this, and eventually I lose the egos, and then I fall asleep. Then I wake up Saturday morning to what's happening in Charlottesville, Virginia. A Confederate statue was scheduled to be removed from Charlottesville, and in response, a bunch of alt-right Nazi white supremacists decided to protest the removal of the statue. Friday night, they were carrying tiki torches, and Saturday, they arrived armed. One anti-racist counter-protester was killed when a car plowed into the group, which injured 19 more people. I don't know if anyone is surprised by the hatred that this country holds, and if they are surprised, I'm going to guess it's because they don't participate in our shared informative collection of data. Basically, they don't actively seek out news. Unbiased news. And maybe that's a mean generalization, but also if you were educated and kept up with current events, you know that America was built on slavery, that after the emancipation, black people were suppressed through terrorism and societal biases that kept them from owning land and seeking educational opportunities, and that even today, black people experience the highest level of incarceration compared to the population for misdemeanor crimes, fear for their lives at the hands of the police, and are continually terrorized by white supremacists online, on the streets, and in the White House. So that's why when people say affirmative action boo, you should probably be well, let's think about this critically, and also fuck off. And there is so much more we need to talk about, including the racism that other people of color receive, anti-Semitism, anti-women, and all of these things. But you should not be surprised that white supremacy is a thing. And this is where Confederate memorabilia and statues come to play. I'm sure you've heard heritage not hate when you see a Confederate flag being touted by someone. So let's talk about that. Did your ancestors really fight for the South? I'm from Montana, and the people who have said that to me moved in from Canada or immigrated here after the Civil War. So if that's the case, you have no heritage linked to the Civil War, so all that's left is hate. Take that motherfucking flag down. Now, what if your ancestors did fight for the Confederacy? Heritage, not hate. Your heritage is hate. It is hate for black people, it is hate for the United States, it is hate for moving forward. And so some of you may look at that flag and think, whatever, history. But can we talk about history from a point of view that isn't white? That is a history of enslavement. That is a history of lynching. That is a history of violence and oppression. That flag is a reminder of all those things that have happened to black people in our country, that is continuing today, and that is used as a tool to stoke fear and terror within our communities. Take that fucking flag down. And if you don't care about what people of color are telling you, that this flag, especially used in tandem with swastikas, is a symbol of terror and hate, then I guess you're a white supremacist too. If you want to support your neighbors of color, listen to them. Think critically about all sides of history. Question what your great Uncle Gus tells you about those people. Read and seek out unbiased news sources. There's so much you can do to be an ally, but being silent is not one of those things. Thank you all for listening to this weekend rant. I understand that I have a white point of view, so I would love to hear your point of view, what I am missing, and what I need to know and learn to be a better ally. Please stay safe out there, look out for each other, and tell your stories.